Hi friends, today we are going to be creating self-portraits inspired by Pablo Picasso. So the fun thing about this style of self-portraits is let your imagination soar. So you're not going to be looking at a picture of yourself. Instead, you're going to try to keep that memory of yourself in your head and bring that to your paper. So for today's project, we really want to focus on using crayons and watercolors, as long as you get your parents' permission for the watercolors. But if you can't use watercolors, you can also use a pencil, markers, colored pencils, any other things you can think of. Hi friends, today we are going to be creating our self-portraits inspired by Pablo Picasso. So the really cool thing about his self-portraits is they don't have to look amazing or beautiful. They actually have a very unique and fun, almost whimsical approach. So the cool thing about this is Cubism is a style of art that aims to show all the viewpoints of a person or an object all at once. Because they are made out of cubes and other simple shapes, that's why it's known as Cubism. So the first thing we're going to start with our self-portrait is you don't have to look at yourself in a mirror for this. What you really should do is just kind of keep a memory of yourself in your head. I know I typically look at myself in the mirror in the morning just to see how I look for the day, and I like to kind of base my self-portrait off of that. So, keeping that memory in my head, I'm going to start by making just a U shape. Now, there's a few different ways you can do this, and I'll show you a couple of those. So, here's my basic shape of my face. Now, I'm thinking about my nose, and I'm thinking about how I look at myself from the side. So, from the side view, I'm just going to go in, draw my nose and my mouth. Now, I do have a larger nose, so that's okay. I kind of over-exaggerated it, and that's fine. So, next I'm going to draw my eye. Now, I do have larger eyes, but I'm going to make them even larger for this picture. So, right there, it's a very large eye. And I'm just going to go in and draw my pupil. Now, less is more. We don't want to add a ton of details to our Picasso-inspired picture. Now, I'm going to think about my eyes from the side, almost how I did the nose and mouth from the side. So my eyes from the side, they're going to almost be kind of like a triangular shape, but I'm not going to connect them. I'm going to draw my pupil there. So right there, we've got a nice start. I am going to add my neck. I'm going to make it skinnier because with this style, things are a little overly exaggerated. I am going to give myself some eyebrows because I do have thick eyebrows. So think about your features and how you can over-exaggerate them. It just makes it a little more fun. I am going to give myself some little eyelashes. And I'll give some at the bottom. That's what's really fun about this, is it doesn't have to look just like me, but it's implied. I'm gonna give myself some blush on my cheeks, and I'm just doing little circles. Now for my hair, I do have longer brown hair now, but I'm gonna keep it in my crayon color of pink, because I do miss my pink hair. But notice I'm not giving it a ton of details. And I'm pulling it down off the page. It's okay if your hair does go off the page a little. Oh, and my ears. Putting one there, and I'm gonna put one down here. So, you just gotta look at it from different angles. Now, so that's one way you can do it. I'm gonna put that to the side. Now, what if you don't wanna start with U shape? That's fine. You can break your face up into different shapes. I still like keeping that side view of my nose. So I am going to still keep that, but that's going to be my starting point. And I'm actually going to go into my neck. Now I'm going to make this its own shape. So just like that. So right there is the side of my face. So I'm going to add my eye. I'm going to do it similar to how I just did the last one. Make it large. Now for this side, I'm gonna do my eyes still head on, but I'm gonna move it up a little bit higher. Now, it is floating, so for this part, you could stop here. and that could be your floating eye. Then you would just add your hair and all that fun stuff. Or you can actually take it and add a shape. So right there, I've got my face and my picture plane. Now I'm gonna add in my eyebrows, just like before. Gonna still give myself some cheeks, some blush on my cheeks. And I'm still gonna give myself the hair. Now I am giving myself shoulders, and maybe I'll have a collar. But less is more, and you wanna be simple with it. Now, you're not gonna color anything in with your crayon. And now I'm gonna paint it with watercolors. So for this, you can use any coloring supplies you'd like. If you have markers, that's fine. If you wanna use watercolors, get permission from your parents. But if they say it's okay, use the watercolors with the crayon. You don't wanna try to draw anything with just the watercolors, just because you won't have as much control. So by using the crayon with the watercolors, the crayon will act as a resist with the watercolors, and the watercolors won't absorb into the crayon. Now, if I did this with marker and then I tried to go over it with the watercolors, it would cause the marker to just kind of run and bleed all over the place on your picture plane. So if you're using watercolors, make sure you're using crayon to go underneath. Pencil would work, but you wouldn't necessarily see it so well with the watercolors. So I'm going to wipe off my brush. I am using a larger brush, but a smaller brush would work. And I'm going to use just these top colors right here. I'm going to avoid using the brown and black. I'm not sure if I will use purple either. Purple sometimes comes out much darker. So I'm probably gonna stick with my warmer tones, with my red, my orange, and my yellow. Now the colors don't have to be exactly the same as how it would be in real life. So what I mean by that is I'm not going to paint my face like a peachy skin tone. I'm actually gonna probably use a green for my face, just because I think that'd be fun. I could use yellow, I could use red, but I think green is where I'm gonna go with my face. I'm just gonna fill it with the green. So that's really up to you what colors you want to paint your face. But that's the fun thing about Picasso and his artwork, is he didn't paint things how they looked, he painted them how he thought of them, which that's actually a big quote from him. It goes, I paint things as I think of them, not as I see them. Which towards actually early on in his career, he actually became a very well-known artist and a well-known painter, so that fame just kind of went with him throughout his career. So it got to a point in his life where he could do anything, and people just adored his work, which is really awesome, especially being an artist. Sometimes it is hard to get recognized for your artwork during your time when you're still alive. So for this side of my face, I am going to use orange. I think orange and green look nice together. Reminds me of fall. Pumpkins. I'm ready for warmer weather. Well, fall weather. I don't like it to be hot. I like it in the middle. And there's my face so far. Now for my eyes, I am gonna go in with blue. Now I don't have blue eyes, I have brown eyes, but the blue could be pretty with the colors, and that's okay. I'm gonna go in my cheeks with the red. And now my hair, I think I'm gonna just go with the yellow. So that's the fun thing about these self-portraits, is it doesn't have to look exactly like you, and you can change it up. You're more so inspired by yourself. Be inspired for your self-portrait. Alright, and there you have it. There is my Picasso-inspired self-portrait. I'm very excited to see what you guys come up with, and I cannot wait. So be sure to submit a picture or a video showing me what you guys created. And I hope you guys have a fabulous week.